Good day. It is CJ Miller. Happy holidays, and I'm out walking in the road, in the middle of the road. Okay, so the piece of little stretch of service road I'm about to walk down is on the Kings Highway uh, in Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport, Barksdale, actually, and it's going to just a little further up there, it's going to turn into Kings Highway. It's the same stretch of road, but so the reason why this is my favorite piece of road in the entire city of Shreveport, Louisiana, is because when I was a little boy, and I'm walking the opposite way of my memory. My memory was coming. You'll be seeing it, but this way I can point behind when I'm talking. I remember being a little child. Learning how to talk that early, and as I was learning how to talk, we would be coming down this little curve or stretch of road, and I would see the sun shining through the trees. And remember, I was learning words for things, and I used to, in my mind, as I was trying to reconcile objects with their names, I would think of the sun as I would confuse it with the moon, and I also would confuse the word moon with mom, because it was like, this is I'm the mom and you're the sun kind of thing, and also this is the moon and this is the sun. So I got really weirded out with language. Now this was me being like maybe 1.5, 2 years old, not much older than that for sure. But that's just one of my favorite memories, riding in a car, looking up, seeing the sun, thinking that it was called the mom, and actually confusing it with the moon, thinking that the moon was the mom and that the sun was the sun, which actually is not very different from some Egyptian mythology, as I understand it. They're very heavy on the mother, the sun, those relations. I'm not going to get into. I don't want to cross that bridge and to start talking about like religious things, but look how beautiful in between, just framed here, that passageway, just framed here by these trees. This, I did not realize it. This particular view that I took in as a child, when I started painting a few years ago, that effect started showing up, especially when I did paintings that were heavily influenced by or contained heavy amounts of wooded space. Just that whole, like, here's the woods, and there's like a peak or a path or passageway through the trees that's almost inviting and pulling you in. So I didn't realize it until much later, almost until just now, looking at it from that angle and from the distance. But I've got a piece of work. It was one of the first things that I did in my Emerald Prominence series, where I painted these, it's a great forest area, and then it's got that effect of a little passage through the trees, and what goes on around that passage, whatever. Or perhaps it's in, we're viewing from wherever the passage leads, because in the distance there's a bit of a mountainous structure that I did not realize, but it looks just like the Fairmont building in my downtown area of Shreveport, which has always been part of the landscape of my mind ever since I've been aware of downtown Shreveport as a adolescent. And guess what? I now live in that Fairmont building. So, but I didn't realize it at the time when I was painting this picture, that I was actually taking different scenes of my life I didn't realize it. I'm putting it on this one particular canvas. And then, of course, it became part of a series that, I don't know, the more I review it, I would probably find some, what's the word? Some namular connection, that's been kind of like dormant in the subliminal part of my memory, where I'm looking at these different views and images and connections that are basically the benchmarks of my life, and they're there, and I just don't realize it. And I'm like, why am I wanting it to look just like this, or why am I wanting to pull it out, or whatever? And so as I've gone back and I've looked at some of my paintings that I've been doing in the last few years, I paint with primarily acrylic on canvas, sometimes with oil on canvas. I guess the reason why I'm talking about it is because it's really kind of neat. I initially wanted to talk about how that was my favorite stretch of road and my favorite view in Shreveport, and it is because of the memory. And that is on the service road of the Shreveport Barksdale. I probably could just like stand there and talk for about an hour and a half, but I have things to do, so I can't do that. But and I guess now, as I'm posting this video, or making this video to post on my YouTube channel, it's because I guess in the last, since the pandemic started, certainly I put a halt on my painting for, especially for commercialism, because I didn't feel like painting and then asking people to buy my paintings when I knew that money was tight for everybody. I knew it's tight for me. It's really, really tight for me. And the reason why I would paint and then ask people to buy my paintings, basically it's so that for no other reason than the fact that I could afford to keep painting, because it brings me a bit of serenity and a bit of self-discovery also. Even when I look at something, or I'm painting and I'm making a painting for somebody else, say someone's gotten in touch with me and has commissioned a painting. We've talked about it, we've looked at the space where the painting's going to be displayed in their home or their business, and we've agreed on a price, and we've agreed on a subject and a style and everything, and even that painting, even as I create it, becomes part of the connection that I make with the person who has commissioned the work. That becomes part of the story of that painting, just by default anyway. So even if it's not specifically there, then emotionally it is there on the canvas, within the brush stroke, within the fading in and out of the different tones and the colors and everything. So yeah, I know what I'm doing when I paint. Yeah, I think that part of me is beginning to wake up again, and I'm the kind of person, I like to paint with a destination in mind. Where is this painting going to go? Who's going to receive it? And then I get a charge out of knowing that someone else takes my work and it travels and it goes someplace. It's very cheap, and like I said, I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, and then pretty soon you'll see me start to work again. What I'm going to do is we have this, we're kind of getting a little back to a little, I don't know about ever going back to what it was before this pandemic started. I feel that there are some things that have forever changed, but I do feel that we are getting into a routine with the acceptance of our current reality. And we know that what is what is. And That's what it is. I got distracted by a car pulling up beside me at a red light. It's like, oh my God, do I look schizophrenic? But I'm talking, making a video, so maybe. Okay, so I get distracted easily. The painting helps with that, I know that what I do is an expression, it's an artistic expression, but it's also a great bit of recreational therapy for me also. So, and as I see that we are coming to terms as a people, not Shreveport, not Louisiana, not the United States, but I mean the world, as we are coming to terms with the acceptance of our reality, I feel somewhat of a gauge of where we're going, so that I'm willing to put myself out there and put my paintings back out there and say, now it's going to be okay for me to paint, and ask somebody, hey, would you like this painting, or would you like me to create a painting for you on terms that we find agreeable, to help me continue to be able to afford art supplies, So we'll be looking for that pretty soon on my YouTube channel, details on that. I want to explore my passions, and as potential patrons, what do you call someone? There's got to be a word for it. Oh, commissioner. You're a commissioner. You'd be a commissioner. If you commission my work, you're a commissioner. So, yeah, basically, the commissioner. I'd want to explore the passions and the lifestyles of the people that would be commissioners of my work. And all its lovely simplicities and various styles. And every time I do something and I explore different styles, that's fun too, because learning different styles in art, whatever the medium is, it's basically different ways of expression. It's the same as increasing one's vernacular, learning more words, adding to your vocabulary, learning different types of brush strokes, different effects, the way the different the technical stuff, the way that the different thicknesses, viscosities of paint, how it plays with the canvas and everything. So, yeah. Okay. Even different degrees between the wet stages and the dry stages, have an effect. So, I remember one time I was doing a painting, and what I did actually was to go out and pick some wildflowers that were basically, they were pretty, but they were basically, just natural growing, and they were plentiful. But I plucked some, then I brought them back home, and I actually used the delicate blossoms at the end of the stems to help add technique and a natural element. And that was to that first piece in the Emerald Prominence collection that I talked about. Now, there was a whole great big story about that, and I'll get into it in another video, because if I start talking about it, I'm not going to be talking for 14 or 15 minutes. I'll be talking for 45 minutes. And this is a YouTube video. I think maybe I'm going to try to keep it at around 15, 20 minutes tops. But this one's going to be coming in just under 15 minutes. Listen, happy holidays 2021, and I love you guys. Sincerely, human to human. Have a blessed season. Bye.